And so one of my last questions, just for the audience to kind of get a sneak peek on what's coming next for you, if you would like to talk a little bit more about your fourth book coming out and how excited you are and kind of how you're feeling about all that.
It's so amazing because, I've had a long life. I've really been lucky for what I've done. And well, it started off with an experience with an student organization called ISAC that opened my eyes to the world, opened my experience to me that I could do things. And so that began my career in the nonprofit world. And I've been fundraiser, executive director, board member, chair, all kinds of positions. And that was about 25 years. Then I had 20 years of consulting and training and helping other organizations in 30, 40 countries around the world. Then, what do I want to do? Oh, the third career is what I'm doing now, which is writing. And I look back and I said, what is my research? Well, is having worked with maybe 1,000 organizations and what they want to do and how they can and what their problems are. And with tens of thousands of NGO workers and students. These are interviews. This is the research of a lifetime. So that's what I'm writing about now. It's about stepping up to leadership and about the principles of fundraising. My second book is about strategic planning and strong values and clear culture so that you can get things done in your organization. And my third book was on proven strategies for fundraising, step by step, so people can see. And now I'm almost finished my fourth draft, which is on ethics and evaluation. The two things donors ask most: can I trust you? And what is your impact? And that's why they give people, that's why they give money, because they trust you. Who would give money to someone they don't trust? And who would give money to someone who doesn't tell them what they do with it, the results? So these are the two things this book is about. I'm really excited. I hope to see it out in late July or August. Then there's the next book.
Yeah. So exciting. So exciting. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
Why are you doing this with me this summer?
Okay, good, great question. So I think that for a long time, being in college is a weird place to be. Everybody makes you think that they have everything all figured out and that they know where they're going. But I think that's just one big lie. And everybody's kind of in this limbo and we're trying to all figure it out. And so for me, I am really inspired by your work and what you do in the nonprofit organizations. That I think is what drives me to just be the person that I am. I care about helping others and I care about how I can make the world a better place, because I know that there's so much wrong and so much hurt and pain. And if I have the power to do something about it, then I want to. And if I can support you and your mission and what you're doing and your incredible books, then that is something that I want to put my energy and my efforts towards, because I know that this world needs to be a better place and that it can be, because we have the potential. It's just we need to live up to it. And that's the hardest part. And so I want to make sure that I'm staying true to myself and what I want, and that I'm not selling out to a job for money out of all things, because it's not how I want to live my life, because I know life is too short for that. So I just admire your work and what you're doing, and it inspires me because it makes me feel like I can do it too. And so that's a small reason on such a small part of such a big reason of why I am doing this work and why I want to go into the nonprofit sector as well.
Well, you are amazing, and I really appreciate you. You've been wonderful so far, and I'm sure it'll be a great team that we make. But I have another question and introduction. The motivations for what I've done really come from my parents. My father, who was a businessman, said to me 100 times, he said, Kenny, that's what they called me, Kenny, whatever you do, do it well. That was the business guy talking. And my mom said to me maybe 5,000 times, Kenny, whatever you do something good. So, there I am, I'm finished college. And I said, what do I do? My work, I ended up after ISEC with an offer from a company, a big bank, and an offer from an international education development association. Okay, dad says, oh, okay, I can do either of those. If I'd been the banker, I'd be rich by now. My mom said, do something good. So I chose the international work, and that's been my career. So people get motivations from different places, literature, family, culture, something inside. What is your motivation to want to change the world?
Oh man, I think it's always been really intrinsic in the person that I am. I love taking care of people. I love taking care of my friends, my family, because I think I've seen how much we can all support one another. And I think getting older and living in a society where the odds are stacked up against me, I I don't really have a choice in a way to I have to stand up for myself. I have to do better. I want to do better by people who are hurting and who are suffering. And I think that that's where my motivation comes from, is from the world that we've been socialized to live in is so broken, and I can't sit silently and watch it just continue to crumble when there are people who are at risk every single day and who are dying every day, and not even just that, but just facing injustice and inequity and so many other areas. And I think my parents just being immigrants and hearing their story of where they came from and why they came to the United States for this American dream, and me growing up and seeing maybe that's not maybe this dream is a little distorted than what they had originally thought it was. And I think that I want to be able to kind of give back to them for what they've done for me and the sacrifices that they've made, but also give back to the world around me because it's given me so much and I've learned so much. And so I think it's a combination of my family and just the world and my intrinsic motivation to want to do better by myself and by the people around me.
What a beautiful answer. And it makes me think of one thing, if I can go on.
Yeah.
In my books, I have 8 leadership myths. I'm not going to go into all 8 now, that's another time, but one of them, and everybody knows this is one of the great truths. Women cannot be great leaders. And I look at that, and I look at so much evidence around the world, and I look at you, and I hear you, and I say, no, it's just the opposite. Women can be leaders because, this may sound crazy to some people, but women have this million-year history of taking care of others. It's in your everything, more so than mine. And what's in me is hunting lions and going out and catching fish or whatever it is. And that's what people on Wall Street do today. They go hunting. But women have this amazing thing in them to care for people. And, we read today about so many of America's super rich men who are focused on making more money. And it's their wives, or in some cases, their former wives, who are giving away the money. Women give more donations than men do. Women care more than men do. And women are now leading many, many organizations to care better. I was talking to someone the other day, or she was doing a web program on diversity and equity and inclusion. And one of her points was that the data say that boards of directors that have women on them make more money. Now, wait a minute. That goes against everything we know. But it's because they make them better organizations. So you're a great example of the future.
So
Women are going to change this world.
definitely.
I'm lucky to be working with you. Thank you.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate that. I am so thankful to have a mentor like yourself with such great experience and care for others as well. Because men have the capacity to care. It's just showing them the way of actually doing it and making them want to step up at the end of the day.
You know,
Thank you so much.
I wish they could have the experience that I had when I was working with Save the Children and would visit, you know, places in very poor countries where families had nothing. They'd live in a rowboat, maybe with a tarp over them, or they live in a tin shack. And, you know, I would come back home and I say, what am I doing? And I'd be so glad I'm doing what I did, which was working for an organization like Save the Children. And I'll say, one of my regrets is that I didn't have as much time as I would have liked with my children. But, you know, I talked to my son. He called me on Father's Day. He said, Dad, your values have been so inspiring. Thank you for giving that to me. So yeah, values,
Yeah,
women
that's
caring, the future has a great potential.
100%. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time and your efforts and all that you're doing and speaking with me today. And yeah, okay, cool. How are we feeling?